Major League Baseball suspended him for an entire season plus the playoffs. Not for one positive drug test, but for what a small anti-aging clinic in Strip Mall, Florida, called its most important client. The evidence that took him down wasn't a lab result. It was a set of handwritten notebooks documenting exactly who bought what and when. Alex Rodriguez is already one of the best paid, most scrutinized players in baseball when, in 2009, he admits to using performance-enhancing drugs earlier in his career while with the Texas Rangers, a confession many assume closes the book on his doping history. It doesn't. In 2013, a much bigger story breaks. A Miami New Times investigation exposes Biogenesis of America, a small anti-aging clinic run by Anthony Bosch, as a source of performance-enhancing drugs for a long list of professional baseball players. And internal clinic records reportedly show Rodriguez as one of its highest-paying, most frequent clients, years after his public 2009 admission. Here's the part that makes this case genuinely unusual. Major League Baseball, unable to get the clinic's records through normal channels, reportedly pays a former Biogenesis employee for the notebooks and documents directly, an aggressive, legally contested investigative tactic the league had never used at this scale before. The Biogenesis records allegedly show a client list of roughly 20 current and former MLB players using coded nicknames in Bosch's own handwritten notes. Rodriguez's alleged codename connects him to years of purchases spanning testosterone, human growth hormone, and other banned substances, directly contradicting his earlier claim that his drug use had ended with the Rangers. MLB's investigators go further, alleging Rodriguez didn't just use the clinic's services. He actively worked to obstruct the league's investigation, allegedly attempting to purchase and destroy the incriminating documents before MLB could get to them, and pressuring at least one witness. In August 2013, MLB suspends Rodriguez for 211 games, covering the remainder of that season and the entirety of the following one, the longest non-lifetime suspension in league history and dramatically longer than the 50 to 100 game suspensions given to every other player implicated in the same Biogenesis case. Unlike nearly every other player caught in the Biogenesis case, Rodriguez refuses to accept the suspension quietly. He appeals, walks out of his own arbitration hearing in protest, and takes his case to federal court, arguing MLB's investigation itself broke the rules by paying for stolen documents. His suspension is ultimately upheld but reduced slightly to 162 games, a full season. He becomes the public face of the entire Biogenesis scandal in a way none of the other roughly dozen suspended players do, partly because of the scale of his punishment, and partly because he'd already been the center of one PED controversy just 4 years earlier and had promised the public it was behind him. Rodriguez serves the full suspension and returns to the Yankees in 2015, finishing his career there in 2016 with his statistical accomplishments, including membership in the 3,000 hit and 600 home run club, permanently shadowed by the doping record attached to his name. Anthony Bosch, the clinic operator at the center of it all, pleads guilty to federal drug distribution conspiracy charges and serves prison time. Despite Hall of Fame caliber career statistics, Rodriguez has repeatedly fallen well short of induction in Baseball Writers Association voting joining Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens as players whose on-field numbers are overshadowed, in voters' eyes, by confirmed PED use. The Biogenesis case pushes MLB and the Players' Union toward tougher joint drug agreements in the years that follow, including harsher automatic suspensions for first-time PED violations and expanded year-round testing, reforms explicitly shaped by how difficult it had been to catch a scheme that operated almost entirely off traditional drug testing radar. The full case file, the purchased evidence, the obstruction allegations, and why his suspension dwarfed every other player's is linked below. New files unlock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.